Today we're going to continue working on our clay bowls. Take your bowl out of your bag, take the saran wrap just away from the center area, and we are going to put our name on the bottom today of the actual clay bowl. So you're going to let the clay gently fall into your hand, smooth an area of the bottom of the bowl gently with your finger. I like to do the bottom center spiral. I think it's the easiest place. Once you have it nice and smooth, then you're going to pick up a pencil. You're going to carve into it your first and last name. One can be an initial if you'd like. So you could do your last name and first initial, or first name, last initial. And then make sure you carve in your block number as well, including the letter. So I am doing 12A as an example. B is my first initial. Now you're ready to put your clay bowl back into the styrofoam bowl. Just make sure the saran wrap is centered so that it's covering the entire styrofoam bowl first. Now you're going to start rolling coils of clay. Take a piece of clay off of your lump and put the remaining clay in your Ziploc bag. Fold it over so that the air stays away from it. I start rolling the clay in the palms of my hands first, just to get it cylindrical. I want it to roll easily. Then I place it down on the table and I start rolling it back and forth. I'm trying to elongate the clay so that it becomes a line of clay. Remember, it doesn't matter how long the clay coils become. What's important is that they are of even thickness. So you want all the coils you make to be the same thickness. And our goal is the thickness of our pinky finger or a thin Crayola marker. Once you have two that look about the same, then you can start turning those coils into whatever designs or patterns you want to create. I'm going to create a zigzag pattern with my coil first today. So I bend about an inch of the clay inward to itself, and then I keep folding it back and forth so I create a zigzag. Once it's as long as I wish, I just break the clay off. I'm going to do a spiral next so that I create a pattern of zigzag, spiral, zigzag. So just like last time, I created a small spiral, and now I'm sort of envisioning how it's going to go in the bowl. To make it match, I'm going to make another zigzag. Back and forth again, I'll bend the clay, and I'm going to make it the same length as the previous zigzag. Personally, I like to eat out of balanced bowls. I like my bowls to be round, and I like them to look the same on all sides. So I'm making my bowl symmetrical. So I'm making a spiral on the opposite side wall, and then I'm going to do zigzags next to it, just like I did on the other side. While you're watching me make my zigzags, I want to remind you that you can create any kinds of designs you want using coils for your bowl. Just remember that our main goal for this project is to create a functional bowl. We will be glazing these with food-safe glazes, so you want your bowl to be able to hold food or liquid. You want to be able to put ice cream or macaroni and cheese or cereal in your bowl. You don't want leaks. So I can tell you, the best way to get a functional bowl is to make sure that the walls and bottom of the clay are evenly thick. So as you're working, no matter what you create, those coils have to be the same thickness. It also has to be well smoothed out to connect the clay. You need to make sure that you're smoothing the clay out before it gets too dry so that you can make a really strong connection. So now back to my bowl. I have these two spots that need another design in it. I could try a couple different things first. I mean, you have time to experiment, so I could try making like a rainbow of clay. I could try cutting lines out of the coils and just making straight lines. I could experiment with braiding or twisting the clay. The sky's the limit. Feel free to do some experimentation. Once you have filled up the walls of your bowl, you're then going to plug up any holes that you have. So just like before when you were doing the bottom, make little marble-shaped balls and then stick it in any places that you see are remaining. After that, what I like to do to kind of finish off at least this portion of the bowl is I like to roll out one long coil and put that around the top of the bowl. And I do this before smoothing it out. This is not the end of the bowl. We are going to learn how to create a decorative rim to the bowl as well, but just one long piece of clay around the bowl can really help you when smoothing it and to just keep the walls evenly thick. Think about it like this. When you have a bowl that you're using for your cereal, you don't want one side of that bowl to be taller than the other side, do you? I mean, when you fill it up with cereal, you can only fill it up to the lowest point. So having one part be higher than the other just seems kind of strange. Just to make sure you noticed, I used 2 coils, not one long coil to go around that whole bowl. It's okay if you use 3 pieces or even 4, or maybe you can do it in 1. Everyone's different, but it doesn't matter if you have multiple pieces. Just look for holes again. I'm adding little balls of clay and even some small coils of clay into places that I see are just missing clay. And then I'm ready to smooth. So at this point, you know how to smooth clay with your fingers, but I'm going to teach you how to score it first with a fork today. When you're smoothing clay with your fingers, it's easy when you have the table underneath you, like when you're doing the bottom. But when you do the sides of your clay, it's a little more challenging. You have to support the clay with your other hand while you're smoothing. Scoring the clay first with a fork can help you out. So you support the bowl with your opposite hand. So I'm using my left hand to support the bowl, and then I'm using my right hand with the fork to score it up. I'm making lines in different directions so they're crossing over each other, making like hashtags or the number sign with the fork. I'm going to do this over the entire bowl's surface. I'm not digging in too deeply, but I'm scoring it enough that I'd say I'm going halfway into the thickness of the clay. You've got to go carefully so that you don't actually pick up little pieces of clay too much as you go or mess up your design. But you can definitely all do this. So I don't want anyone running to me saying, I can't do it, my clay is going crazy. You can do this, just take your time. Now it's time to smooth out your bowl. Take the hand that you don't smooth with and support the bowl. Look at my left hand. Support the bowl with that hand so that you are smoothing against that hand at all times. This is what will help keep your bowl a bowl. If you don't support it, it's going to become a plate. And that's not what we're making. We're making bowls. You don't want your styrofoam bowl to start cracking. If it's cracking, that's because you're not supporting it properly. Turn the bowl carefully as you move around to smooth different parts of it. It does take some time to do this well. Don't be surprised if you need a solid 15 minutes to score and smooth your bowl very well. I'm going to recommend that you score and smooth whatever part of the bowl that you get done today. So that means even if you don't finish raising the walls of the bowl all the way up to the top of the styrofoam bowl, I think you should still score and smooth what you have made today, and then you can always add more next class. If you get your bowl up this high, I do want you to stop today though. I don't want you to go on any further. Look at how nice and neat my bowl is currently looking. All decorated on the outside, nice texture and coil designs, and smooth on the inside. Next time, I'm going to teach you how to add on some decoration to the rim if you choose to do so. Next class should be the last class you need to finish your bowl though, so plan on finishing next time. Pull the saran wrap over the rim of the bowl to put it away. And then put it inside your Ziploc bag, make sure it's yours, and get all the air out that can be removed and zip up your bag. Double check that it's zipped and then put it in the drawer or cabinet labeled with your class. Lastly, you'll be cleaning up your table. Please help your neighbors. You can help them clean up and you can help them with their clay project if they need your help as well. If time permits, you can get out your sketchbook when everything is clean and put away.